Bayside, Queens, 1962. A working-class neighborhood where dreams are modest and ambition has a ceiling. But one kid, Jordan Belfort, has no interest in ceilings. On a suffocating summer day, he stands on the asphalt, staring at the beachgoers. He isn't looking at the ocean. He is looking at their wallets. He offers a simple lemon ice, 2 for 1, but only if they tell 3 friends. He is 16 years old, and by the time the season shifts, $20,000 sits in his pocket. Where other teenagers see a hot summer, Jordan sees an untapped market. Where they see a car, he sees leverage. The money buys an entry into dental school, a practical path for a traditional life. But on the very first day, the dean stands before the lecture hall, clears his throat, and delivers a warning. He tells the room that if they are here to get rich, they are in the wrong profession. The golden age of dentistry is over. Jordan does not wait for the syllabus. He stands up, nods, and walks out into the corridor. He is not there to clean teeth. He is there to amass wealth. And the traditional path is nothing but a slow death. Next comes the pavement. Jordan launches a door-to-door meat and seafood business. It is a chaotic, scrap metal operation. He pitches USDA prime beef, flash frozen and hormone free, operating without trucks, without storage, and without a single clue. He melts steaks in the backseat of his car, chasing $90,000 a month in sales. But enthusiasm cannot outrun logistics. Late deliveries turn into spoiled inventory. Mountains of unpaid invoices pile up on his desk. Within months, the business collapses into bankruptcy. Yet, amidst the financial wreckage, Jordan discovers his true capital. The product never mattered. Steaks, surfboards, stocks, it is all an illusion. The only variable that matters is the person across the table. He does not need a better product. He needs a better payout. The pursuit of that payout leads him straight to Wall Street. He lands an entry-level position at L.F. Rothschild, a prestigious firm defined by tailored suits, strict quotas, and the sharp scent of cocaine in the bathroom stalls. This is the crucible of the 1980s, a place where greed is not just tolerated, it is institutionalized. Jordan watches, absorbs, and learns the cadence of the high-stakes pitch. He deciphers how the markets move, how the veteran brokers manipulate anxiety, and how they convert hesitation into commission. Then, the calendar hits October 1987. Black Monday arrives like a guillotine. The ticker tape falls behind the reality of the crash. Phones go dead. The market loses 22% of its value in a single day, and Jordan is handed his walking papers. But where the old guard sees the end of an era, Jordan recognizes a blank canvas. He finds his way to a tiny, unglamorous office in a Long Island strip mall, dealing in penny stocks. These are pink sheet companies, unregulated, illiquid, and completely ignored by serious investment houses. To the traditional broker, they are garbage. To Jordan, they are gold. The reason is simple math: a 50% commission. The pitch requires no advanced degree, only an unyielding voice and a telephone. He dials a stranger in Nebraska, an average man looking for security, and introduces a tiny, unknown entity sitting on a manufactured breakthrough. He speaks of a ground floor opportunity, a pre-IPO marvel completely under Wall Street's radar. He weaves a narrative of explosive 10 times returns, transforming a $1 a share gamble into a beach house in Maui. When the target confesses he does not understand the business, Jordan bypasses the intellect entirely. He targets the ego. He tells him that smart money acts before the crowd catches on, forcing a choice between being first or reading about someone else's fortune in a magazine. With a single call, $4,000 changes hands. The regulatory vacuum becomes his laboratory. There are no compliance officers, no institutional breaks, just the intoxicating rush of the cold call. He has found his kingdom, and he is ready to build an empire. By 1989, the operation requires expansion. Jordan partners with Danny Porish, a fast-talking misfit from Long Island who possesses the instincts of a street hustler and an absolute lack of restraint. Danny does not understand market mechanics, but he understands hunger. Together, they create a facade of century-old prestige and name it Stratton Oakmont. The name evokes images of mahogany desks and old money security. The reality is a frantic boiler room lit by flickering fluorescent bulbs, furnished with mismatched desks and completely void of ethical boundaries. The recruits are not finance graduates. They are bartenders, dropouts, and neighborhood gamblers. Jordan does not want experience. He wants desperation. He implements a system called the straight-line persuasion method. It is a psychological vice grip designed to strip a rookie of doubt and convert them into a relentless closing machine. The training eliminates hesitation, instructing the broker to guide a prospect from the initial greeting to a financial commitment in one unbroken, high-pressure trajectory. The trading floor transforms into a theater of pure noise. The energy becomes a commodity, driving egos and bank accounts to unprecedented heights. The strategy targets the vulnerable, working-class retirees, parents looking for an edge, individuals looking for a shortcut. Stratton sells them certainty, wrapped in manufactured urgency. They transition from obscure penny stocks to orchestrated initial public offerings. The firm buys up massive blocks of cheap shares internally, then unleashes the sales floor to hyperinflate the value. Call after call builds a wave of artificial demand, driving the stock price into the stratosphere. At the peak of the frenzy, Stratton dumps its holdings, leaving thousands of retail investors holding worthless paper. By the early 90s, the office is a chaotic blur of air horns, expensive tailoring, and heavy narcotics. Jordan establishes a culture where financial dominance is the only metric of human worth. Top producers are rewarded with sports cars and luxury watches. Those who falter are publicly humiliated. Strippers roam the conference rooms, and champagne ruins office equipment. Jordan becomes a cult leader dressed in Armani, purchasing helicopters, luxury yachts, and multi-million-dollar estates. He preaches a singular gospel to his disciples. Success justifies everything, and poverty is a personal failure. By 1994, the structural integrity of the empire begins to fail. The SEC begins flagging a repetitive pattern of suspicious filings. Complaints accumulate from ordinary citizens who bought into promises at $7 a share, only to watch their investments plummet to pennies. Inside the office, the deception grows heavier. Brokers are pushed to sell entities that possess no revenue, no products, and occasionally no active telephone numbers. To protect the illicit profits, a complex web of offshore shell companies is established. Cash is funneled across borders using couriers, including domestic staff who smuggle hundreds of thousands of dollars sewn into their clothing. The federal authorities watch the money trail, identifying the pattern not as asset protection, but as systemic money laundering. The environment inside the firm degrades from hedonism into survival. The heavy use of downers and stimulants creates a volatile atmosphere where employees pass out mid-sentence or suffer medical emergencies on the trading floor. Jordan's personal life fractures under the weight of his addictions. The illusion of control shatters completely in June of 1996 off the coast of Italy. Ignoring severe weather warnings, Jordan demands his captain navigate a violent storm in the Mediterranean. High on narcotics and convinced of his own invincibility, he watches his luxury yacht take on water. The vessel sinks into the sea, requiring a rescue operation by the Italian Navy. He survives the wreck, but the aura of invulnerability is gone. Back in New York, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, led by dedicated agents tracking financial irregularities, begins tightening the noose. They subpoena phone logs, dissect bank records, and note cash withdrawals occurring in precise $50,000 increments. More dangerously, the internal loyalty of Stratton Oakmont begins to dissolve. Faced with prison sentences, key operators turn state's evidence, wearing concealed recording devices into the very rooms where the schemes were born. The end arrives on an October morning in 1996. Federal agents enter the Stratton Oakmont offices, halting the machinery of the boiler room. Phones are disconnected, hard drives are mirrored, and decades of financial records are loaded into boxes. Even with the evidence secured, Jordan attempts one final transaction, illegally wiring $2 million to a Swiss account. The transfer is intercepted, providing the final piece of the prosecution's case. Facing 3 decades in a federal penitentiary for fraud and money laundering, Jordan utilizes his most reliable skill. He sells out his partners. He cooperates fully, recording conversations and delivering over 30 of his former colleagues, friends, and protégés to the authorities. Many of those who followed his doctrine receive substantial prison sentences. Jordan negotiates a 22-month sentence at a minimum security camp, spending his days playing tennis and drafting his memoirs. In prison, he recognizes that his crimes are not a liability, they are content. Released from custody, he publishes his story, stripping it of remorse and filling it with luxury, excess, and dark humor. The public consumes the narrative with obsession. The memoir is adapted into a global cinematic event, transforming a convicted corporate raider into an international celebrity. Audiences worldwide cheer for the audacity of the theft, turning the predator into an anti-hero. Meanwhile, the victims of the pump and dump schemes remain invisible. Teachers, veterans, and middle-class families who mortgage their futures receive nothing but a court order for restitution that remains largely unpaid. The millions stolen have dissolved into legal structures and offshore accounts. Today, Jordan travels the world as a premium motivational speaker, charging thousands to teach corporate audiences the mechanics of persuasion. He treats his past as a branding tool rather than a disgrace. He successfully commodified his own corruption, proving that in a culture obsessed with wealth, the heist itself is the ultimate recommendation.